Air suspension versus coil. Let's go! Coil versus air suspension. Look, let me tell you something about this whole suspension debate. Some of you people out here are acting like this is rocket science, like we are trying to land a unicycle on Mars. Stop it. It is not that complicated. But the absolute confusion that some of you are broadcasting across the entire internet, man, it is keeping me awake at night. You spend $4,000 on a machine that has more power than a scooter, and then you start complaining that the ride is slightly uncomfortable. Oh, really? Are you telling me that riding a 30-mile-per-hour unicycle over a jagged concrete pothole is not as smooth as floating on a cloud? I am shocked. So let us break it down for the confused masses. You've got two main choices: a big steel spring, the coil, or some compressed air inside a tube, the air shock. And some of you people are picking your suspension like you are picking a flavor of ice cream on a hot day. Oh, I think I like the look of the big shiny spring. It looks aggressive.
It looks like it is ready for battle. Really? You want your unicycle to look like a weapon? Because unless you are a gladiator fighting a lion on the sidewalk, I do not understand that choice at all.
This is what I see online every day. I see people posting videos of their fancy new electric unicycle with the air suspension. They are sitting on their couch, adjusting their settings, talking about their compression damping and their rebound ratios. They are spending 2 hours dialing in their setup, trying to find that perfect, magical, buttery ride quality. Then they finally get outside, they go over one single speed bump, and they look completely surprised that their suspension actually compressed. Look at that, it moved, it absorbs the bump. This is incredible technology. Then you have the alternative. People with the air shocks are online complaining that their suspension is leaking air like a balloon at a 5-year-old's birthday party. They are out there on the group ride having to pump up their unicycle every 15 minutes. They look ridiculous. You cannot have an air suspension and not own a specialized high-pressure pump. This is not a regular tire pump. If you try to use your standard bicycle pump, you are just going to break the valve stem and get mad. Then you are going to go online and write a 2-page essay about how the entire manufacturing process is fundamentally flawed because your $30 hand pump cannot generate 300 pounds per square inch of pressure inside a tiny metal cylinder. I am telling you, these air shocks are complicated. If you get it wrong, you are literally riding on a pogo stick. Every time you hit a little pebble, you are going to bounce into the air and land 20 feet away from your unicycle. It is not suspension. It is a launching mechanism. Now let us look at the other side of the spectrum, the coil suspension, the big heavy spring. People look at that coil and they think simplicity. They think durability. But let me tell you the reality of the situation. Some of you are buying a coil unicycle and you are picking a 90-pound spring when you only weigh 120 pounds dripping wet. What are you doing? Your unicycle thinks a small child is riding it. That massive steel coil is not going to compress for you. It is going to laugh at your weight. You might as well have a solid metal rod instead of suspension. Every bump you hit is going to feel like a personal attack. And the worst part, that massive spring is heavy. It adds 20 pounds to the unicycle. People are buying high-performance, lightweight racing machines and then attaching a piece of industrial heavy equipment to the side of it. They show up at the group ride gasping for breath, trying to lift their machine into the trunk of their car, and they have to call 3 friends to help. You are literally defeating the purpose of buying a portable vehicle. What some of you have to realize is that there is no magical solution. You can have a heavy unicycle that gives you the perfect ride, or you can have a light unicycle that might require occasional maintenance. Pick one. Stop trying to have it both ways unless you want to spend your entire weekend covered in grease and frustration. Stop buying your tire and suspension setups based entirely on what some random person on YouTube said. They are riding on a track in Spain. You are riding on the cracked, pothole-infested street behind a Wendy's. Think about your actual reality and match your equipment to the ground beneath your feet, or prepare to learn exactly how much a high-speed faceplant hurts. Now generate an image about that. Let us keep this momentum going because some of you are still in the comment section acting completely lost. You are staring at your suspension linkages like they are ancient hieroglyphics. We need to talk about the absolute psychological breakdown that happens when an air suspension rider realizes their shock pump gauge is lying to them. You wake up early on a Saturday morning, the sun is shining, the birds are chirping, You decide today is the day you finally conquer the local mountain trail. You grab your high-pressure pump, you hook it up to your air shock, and you pump that sucker up to 250 pounds per square inch. You think you are a professional mechanic. You feel like you belong in a Formula One pit crew. Then you get out to the dirt lot. You step onto the pedals, you take one deep breath of fresh mountain air, and you instantly hear a tiny hiss. Just a little whisper from the bottom of your wheel. It sounds like a snake trying to tell you a secret. That secret is that your main seal just blew out because you forgot to lubricate the rubber O-rings. Suddenly, your $3,000 off-road machine transforms into a low rider. The entire body drops down until the battery boxes are literally dragging in the dirt. You are trying to ride back to your car, but every time you hit a tree root, your pedals slam into the ground with a sound that makes your soul hurt. You look like a giant mechanical turtle dragging its shell through the mud. The off-road guys are watching you from their trucks, laughing into their thermoses. Why are they laughing? Because they have a giant piece of steel wrapped around their shock body. They do not care about air pressure. They do not care about ambient temperature changes. They do not care about thermal expansion. But let us talk about the dark side of that steel coil setup, because those guys are not innocent either. The coil riders love to brag about consistency. They say their suspension feels exactly the same on mile 1 as it does on mile 100. And that is totally true, assuming you actually bought the correct spring rate for your body weight. But nobody does that. People just buy the wheel with whatever spring happens to be inside the box. You have a 250-pound guy trying to ride a machine equipped with a 400-pound racing coil. He gets on the wheel, he jumps up and down with all his might, and the spring does not move even a fraction of a millimeter. It is stiff as a brick wall. He goes online that night and posts a picture of his bruised shins. He says the pedal ergonomics are completely ruined. No, your ergonomics are fine. Your suspension is just treating your legs like a hammer treats a nail. Every single ripple in the asphalt is traveling straight through the motor axle, up through the aluminum pedals, through your sneakers, and directly into your knees. By the time you get home, your joints are clicking louder than a turn signal on an old Buick. Then you have the opposite tragedy. You have a tiny lightweight rider who buys a used wheel that was previously owned by a guy who looks like a professional linebacker. This little rider steps onto the machine and the suspension immediately bottoms out before they even start moving. The spring is completely crushed under the preload. They try to ride down a smooth sidewalk, and every time they accelerate, the back of the wheel dips down so low that the tire starts chewing on the inner mud guard. It sounds like a blender full of rocks. They think their motor is losing power, but the truth is their own suspension is actively trying to eat the plastic housing. We have to talk about the maintenance aspect too, because this is where the real tears start flowing. The air suspension crowd thinks they are superior because they can just adjust their ride height with a twist of a dial. They think they are living in the year 3000, but the moment a speck of fine desert dust gets past that wiper seal, the party is officially over. That dust turns into sandpaper inside the shock body. Within a month, your beautiful black anodized stanchion tube has giant silver scratches running down the middle of it. Your expensive air cartridge is now leaking oil all over your nice clean garage floor. Your unicycle is literally bleeding on your carpet. Meanwhile, the coil guy is riding through absolute filth. He is blasting through mud puddles, spraying dirty water everywhere, and his spring just keeps bouncing. He does not clean it. He does not look at it. He treats that coil like a rented mule. But then winter hits. The temperature drops down to freezing. And suddenly that simple steel coil feels entirely different. Why? Because the cheap oil inside the rebound damper has turned into the consistency of cold maple syrup. Now the coil unicycle is stuck in slow motion. You hit a bump, the suspension compresses, and then it takes 3 business days for the wheel to return to its original position. You are riding down the street looking like a low-rider bicycle with hydraulic fluid issues. You hit a second bump while the shock is still compressed, and you get launched over the handlebars like a circus performer exiting a cannon. You land on your back in a pile of wet leaves, staring at the sky, wondering why you did not just buy a car. Your unicycle is rolling down the street by itself, ghost riding into a neighbor's parked car. All of this happened because you wanted to argue on internet forums about which suspension setup makes you look cooler in the parking lot. Stop trying to find a shortcut to the perfect ride. If you want infinite adjustability and you do not mind carrying a special pump in your backpack like a bicycle paramedic, buy the air suspension. If you want to abuse your machine and never think about maintenance until something literally snaps in half, buy the coil. Just make a decision, buy the correct equipment for your actual weight, and stop making the rest of us read your online manifestos about ride quality. Thanks for watching.